and
recording is on.
And it's definitely something that also needs to be explored further. If you have an example and can also tell this to us, or what you're already doing, ask this in the forum, then we can also discuss this more, and why this might be important for other developers too, and what we already have in order to resolve such a thing, such a need.
Does anyone else who's here have any questions for us? Maybe someone who just joined? Or any feedback or anything else?
Where's Yanni actually?
I mean, maybe also for future hangouts here, that we collect. Maybe we can pre-collect a few questions and in the forum. Is there a plan for the potential huge size of the chain? The gas fee seems not high, even one.
With lots of zero times.
Yes.
With lots of zero times. Yes, there is plans. Not all of them can be communicated yet already. But there's going to be some announcement soon. But yes, with various client implementations, for example, pruning of old states and these kind of things, but they'll be tackled rather in the future when this will going to be more acute, so to say.
Also, miners can choose a higher gas price.
So miners can choose a higher gas price. It's now way easier to do that. It was complicated before. So yeah, these are the solutions which are here right now. So the answer is yes.
But I think it will be way easier, like with the new release. I think it's still not out there, so I think there is a new release coming like within like few weeks, and then you will be able to set it up in the config file.
Yeah.
Light node.
Hello, Helmut.
Helmut, mute yourself, thanks. Yeah, light note. So today, exactly 1 year ago, we had a meeting in London where we spent like 1.5 hours discussing the terminologies, what would be a light node, a full node, a fast sync node, and whatever. So if to understand a light node, something like a light client that leaches state information from other full nodes, then yeah, eventually one day, as I said, chain size is not the biggest problem right now. So yeah, we discussed thinking about these things in the scope of maybe like 3/4 or half or a full year. Sorry, and yeah, there's like more important stuff to do right now. But yeah, there's definitely solutions in the box. And the first one to implement will probably be the pruning of old states as an optional feature for the node users to reduce size of the chain data.
But I think we would also like appreciate a feedback on what would you like to have as a light node, because like we had like this long discussion and we couldn't really decide. We don't have like final decision what the light node exactly should be doing.
A question from the forum, which I will read out. As I understand, the philosophy of æternity was that if somebody would need private transactions, he can go off-chain and use state channels. Tezos blockchain announced they will use the ZK Snarks protocol of Zcash for private on. That's an original issue. For private on-chain transactions. Has æternity discussed measures for on-chain privacy? And what is your opinion on ZK Snarks in regards to æternity?
Does anyone else want, or shall
I would like it.
Yeah, okay, there you go, guys.
Okay, I think we all love on-chain privacy very much, and we want to do it in the future at some point, but there's a lot of open thing we have to discuss. For example, handling of other transactions than the spam transaction, how we can deal with this if we want to deal with this, and in which version of on-chain privacy we want to implement in the end. I don't know, John, do you have something to add?
No, I think you summarized it.
But also to answer the question, we actually talked today about the viability and possibility and of this feature.
It's an ongoing discussion, and I think most of the team really likes this feature.
But we also, actually, I had a yesterday discussion regarding the snarks for state channels, because I mean, even if when you settle the channel, there is like quite a significant amount of information being stored on chain. So actually, we are also looking into the possibility of using the snarks for the state channels when they settled and when they closed and the state trees are stored on chain.
Yeah, generally speaking, in the research, there's no way of generally implementing ZK snarks executions for on public chain for smart contract executions, because the so-called trusted setup for verifying the proofs are different every time. So if you do like smart contract computations here, but that is not the case for just basic value transfer, right? So it's on the roadmap to allow doing basic spends and an anonymized way through the usage of ZK snarks. This will be specified sometime soon, and yeah, it's in the making. Can you read it?
This is the question, this one here as well, which reads, I follow Eternity from a user perspective, and I cannot wait to have apps to play with and to get my friends involved. So what is the state of the app development? I'm also very interested in the Messenger app listed on Base app. But as I understand, the Messenger is currently not a priority, sad face. But I think it would be really helpful to bring people to Eternity by having a cool Messenger app to chat where I can also send AE easily, e.g. with usernames. What other end-user apps can I expect in the next 3 months? What is the status of proof of existence? And when will I be able to use this easily? Are there any fun apps in the pipeline, like little games like Crypto Fighters or Crypto Kitties, just to show how fast Eternity is and to easily get non-IT people involved? So that's about 4 questions.
So one thing that I'm actually actively working on is a project for an artwork where we do a collaborative artwork on Eternity blockchain. This will launch in April with a huge mania. And I think the consensus is that we will make a demo version for this that anybody can play around with prior to the launch soon. So this is one fun project we plan. And another thing we do right now is we develop all kinds of example contracts, and in this, we already have some small games like a tic-tac-toe game that we could make an app for.
Yes, and we will list those demo applications so everybody can not only play around with them, but also learn how they were built. But also to the current state was that Eternity launched end of last year. There has been a little period where SDKs, middleware, public infrastructure, development tools had to catch up with the launch of the mainnet, and now we are having more and more tutorials, and we have more and more easy ways to develop such applications. And next to what we don't know yet from the people out there, there are projects which went through the Eternity Starfleet incubator. They are also working on a few interesting cases from digital art to motorcycle insurance, and we also will of course feature and list all usable live applications, from simple demos to more complex stuff like the drone graffiti app Pivo mentioned soon. And yeah, hopefully you will have fun with them.
And I think when we talk about
yes,
usernames,
Leo, there will be more. They are constantly getting updated. Also, in the next 2 weeks, we try to provide the packages and like stuff like Forge AE is getting rapidly developed, so you can get a like whole boilerplate with all kind of different demos and tools and pre-written contracts, even maybe like even UI and UX elements, which is also extremely important when you, for example, deal with state channels.
Yeah, I just wanted to drop in as well that the naming system is up and running, although only for the test suffix. So usernames are at this stage also possible, and you can use them as aliases for sending funds.
Maybe one thing here, there are multiple groups that work on different modules of this ecosystem, right? So from Forge AE to there's a team working on the base app, and there are teams working on the different SDKs, and there will be also hopefully more updates and discussions in the Eternity forum from each of those teams, and at least one thread, an ongoing thread where we can discuss updates, but also hope to especially get requests from people who play around with all these tools like you, Leo, and build things. And we will also listen very, very carefully. And if we see a demand for specific things, like you mentioned at the beginning with maybe transaction signing, then we for sure this will be discussed and also then hopefully implemented quickly. Thank you for your nice work, Leo. We are very impressed from all the stuff you're doing.
So the next question, what are you most proud about in the current release? What's planned next? Can we somehow influence the development?
So first, the last question. Yes, you can influence the development aggressively by raising your voice and posting in the forum and posting in all our direct communication channels, and just tell us what you like and especially what you don't like. And this will influence development, especially we are in a growing ecosystem right now. So it's a very beginning. So even now voices will be heard way more than maybe later when thousands of people that demand and ask for something. Yeah, what are we proud of?
Wait. But regarding influence in the development, I mean, there was like a first draft of the proposal, like of the.
Oh yeah, the Eternity expansions. This is very good. Yes. So there is like the same way we have it in Ethereum or in Bitcoin. There are in Ethereum it's the EIP, Ethereum improvement proposals. We have the expansions, the Eternity expansions. And this is currently discussed in the forum, and very, very soon we will, or I think we already have a GitHub repository, and there is a template on how we expect people to give constructive, valuable feedback into the development process. And so we are establishing this now. Place for discussion and brainstorming should be the forum. If it's a little bit more mature, then we want to get it as with this template to GitHub. And then there is a predefined process which you can read up in the forum.
Yeah, I think the workflow can be like, you're gonna start in the forum, like asking whether it makes sense, if there is some ongoing work on this, and at some point we may decide, yeah, okay, totally, let's have an AX for this topic, and then basically anyone can start working on this, and then it will be like a collaborative effort to review it, and once accepted, it will be implemented at some point. And yeah, now the second question, what are you most proud of in the current release?
Yeah, I guess the state channels. We're still quite far ahead of most of the other projects. Well, yeah. There's also, as I said, new stuff we are about to announce still. We're even more proud of that, actually super proud. But for everything which is out there right now, it's most likely state channels which are working, have functioning dispute mechanisms on the mainnet, and yes, all the ecosystem stuff which is out there too. For example, the base app, and yeah.
But also maybe some little stuff. I mean, I'm pretty proud that the Eternity ecosystem already has public infrastructure, middleware, SDKs, tooling to develop smart contracts and other stuff. This is like basically 8 weeks after mainnet launch, a huge achievement of also the team, not only the protocol team, but the rest of the people in the ecosystem which are hands-on. And one little detail which I like, because it's getting asked very often, is of course Eternity is scaling through channels like the huge scale when we talk about billions of users, but also on chain. When you inspect the blocks, and we inspected like the top micro blocks, we have seen transaction throughput from about 120 transactions per second, which is already super great, and 10 times around what Ethereum is doing right now. So this is also something I think mention worthy. Now the question for Eric. When will it support inheritance?
Eric is our Sophia mastermind.
So that should be a non-protocol breaking change. So it can be introduced basically at any point. It's just a compiler side thing. It's not prioritized right now, but it will probably take a couple of weeks to implement and might happen in the next few months.
Yeah, keep on at us. As we said, if you want to know how you can influence development, one thing is by telling us which are the things that you guys are after.
So is it possible to execute smart contract function automatically? Executing smart contract when reaching some block height without interaction from the outside world?
No.
No.
You can fake it with an oracle.
Well, with something outside an oracle. Something from the outside has to trigger it. There's not going to be something that is triggered by the chain.
Exactly, or just a cron job. This is what Milan just wrote.
The problem with it, somebody has actively signed a transaction and spend money or tokens on the fees that will top up.
And we don't know what the fees are going to be at this point, so you cannot rely. Because we had this discussion like maybe a year ago, and like this was the arguments why we decided not to do this. I mean, you cannot rely on the contract being executed at this point. So in the future.
But you can make a contract where a function can be called by anyone, so it doesn't care if your cron job triggers it or anybody else who's maybe interested in execution, and you could limit the function by height, that it can only be executed once after a certain height is reached, to make it like less trustless and less trustful.
Yeah, but there's no way to prepay for a future transaction because you will not know the price. So you will either overpay or underpay. So we decided that this is not a good way to go.
Already some good questions.
Yeah, man, they've been great questions today.
Yeah.
Anything else from anyone else? Nope.
I mean, this format seems to work quite nice to reposting the questions here in the chat and then answering them on the call. We also record the call. Yes. So I think we will post the recording, including the question that has been answered, so people could skip through the video when they want to have the answers. And we, at the same thread, we will also collect questions for the agenda, or just any questions, ask in the forum or in our direct communication channels that we will answer during these calls. What do you think about JP Morgan entering the space?
I don't have an opinion about JP Morgan entering the space.
John has no opinion?
I have an opinion. Like, anybody entering the space is a good news. So
Yes, I think I'm with Sergey here. I think it's a good news that we see more and more enterprises, governments, startups, researchers entering the space.
more people working on this, more R&D on this. I don't care. I mean, for me, it's always good.
No comment from the others. So we still get new people joining.
But this is our subjective opinion and
Of
not
course.
opinion of eternity.
No, of course. Next time we need a green box and then like let's just look like we're sitting on an island or something.
I think a clear can do this, not just say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think if there are no more questions, then we can wrap it up, and please spread the word and to friends and family that we're doing this more often now, and point them to the forum to maybe prepare some thoughts and questions. And exactly, the link was just posted in the chat, and we will also post the recordings of those calls there. And yeah, feel free to reach out at any time.
Yeah, thanks for your questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye. See you later. See you next
Thank
time.
you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.